Hello, I'm David.
Hi, I'm Julie.
So now we're going to do a review of Funko Games Disney Mad Tea Party, which is for ages 5 and up, 2 to 10 players, and it takes about 20 minutes to play. And you'll see here it has a nice little foil stamp on there.
So cute. I love it.
Yeah, that's nice. They do good production like that. I think there's stuff in the inside of it too.
Funko rocks.
Yeah, see?
It's for the cat.
Oh yeah, you're right, the cat. Yeah, I don't remember the name of the cat, but anyway.
Bob. We'll call him Bob. I don't know if that's his name, but we'll call him Bob.
I thought it was something like Chester or something like that.
Could be.
I don't remember.
I don't know.
All right, so let's go briefly what you're going to be doing.
Okay.
It's a dexterity hand management game where you're trying to be the first to get rid of your cards. In a 2 to 7 player game, you'll give each player 6 cards. But I'll show you where at in case it's missed later. In a 8 or more players, you'll give them each player 4 cards. Now, if you can only play a card if you can carry out its actions. It does talk about here that if you can't play a card on your turn, you draw from the deck until you find a card that you can play. Now, it doesn't say what to do with the cards that you drew, but we're playing it that if you draw cards that you're not able to play, trying to find one, you put them back. It's not too clear on that. So you put the table together like this. Those are 2 little rules that you can miss. That's why I wanted to go over it at the very beginning. And you have the teacups here, and you'll think, oh, what's the big deal? You're just stacking teacups. Well, in case you can't see on camera here, the tea isn't quite even on purpose, see? And another little rule to remember, anytime a teacup falls, a stack falls, when you are removing one or stacking them, you will draw 3 cards, which means you're further away from getting rid of your hand, and you will play again immediately. Here are the cards types. There's also a nice reference sheet here on the back that explains the special cards.
I love that reference sheet.
Yeah. And a young person will need to look at this, and those who are not used to the game. But also, it has a little chart here on how to read the cards. So most of the deck is made up of cards that just tell you what kind of cup to stack. So that says specifically a purple medium cup. Yellow there says a specific, you can play any yellow cup. And here that means you can play any small cup. However, it doesn't tell you that when you see a red cup, that means you can play any cup type. It does say that on the reference sheet right here, but it doesn't say that in that little chart, okay? So let's go over real quick what each one of these does. So this says any green type.
I mean, in a green size.
Yeah, any green cup. That's it. Now you couldn't play that if all green cups are on the table already, okay?
Oh, that's right.
Okay. Any large teacup. Any medium, not any, specific. You must play the medium yellow cup. So if that medium yellow cup's already on the table, you can't play it.
Right.
Now the special ones, you play any cup, and then you get to discard a card. Now you can win with this.
Yes, you can.
If this is your second to last card, someone won the How to Play playthrough using this card. However, if the stack falls over, you have to draw 3 cups before you discard a card.
Yeah. I don't know who that was.
This one is like an Uno, it reverses. So in a 2-player game, you just get to go twice, but the order will reverse after you play any cup type. Here, you get to start a new stack. It says clean cup, move down.
I like that.
So that's the only way you can have 2 stacks of teacups going. And I don't know how many are in the deck, but you maybe even have possibly have 3. Here you can play any cup type you want, and then the next player will draw a card before they play. So this is a way to slow down your opponent if they're getting close to ending. This is you move a cup off the table, off a stack. Usually you're going to have 1 stack, but if there's 2 or 3 stacks, you move a teacup off.
Do you just move it all the way off then?
Yeah, you move it off the table.
Nice.
Right. So with stacking, you can only use 1 hand. You got to make sure people aren't leaning against the table. So if we're going to go here, for instance, let's say I played, well, I'd have 6 cards, right? So there is some strategy here.
True.
I'll just draw 6 randomly here. Those look like the ones I put on top. Okay.
There you go.
Okay. So those are my 6 cards. And there is some strategy. So if I wanted to slow down Julie, I'll play this one. I can play any cup I want. And so if I really want to make it hard for her, I'll just play a small one. But I have to also look ahead. I can, I got to think about
Your own cups.
My own cups. If I use a cup that I need later on a card, I can mess myself up. Say Julie plays this card. She plays any large cup. So she plays a big purple one here.
I could play any size I wanted, right?
Yeah, you're right. Any cup, that's right. Any cup. Doesn't have to be large, even though the picture makes you think that.
Yeah.
And then, all right, so then I have to go.
No, I get to go again.
Oh, yeah, you're right. You get to go again. So maybe she wouldn't do that cup, but let's say she did anyway. And then let's see, what is she going to play next? Again, she wouldn't get to pick, but right now I'm just showing for the sake of. So she could do any medium size. So say she's.
I'll do yellow.
Okay. She counts to 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, see, it almost fell off.
Gosh.
Now, I'm in a situation where I'm not going to do too well here.
No.
Let's say I'll play this one, any cup, and give Julie a card. I'll just do this little one
It's
here.
going to fall.
Probably.
Don't forget to count to 3.
Let's do it on camera here. Now, I can't start another stack, and it always has to go upright. Well, I messed it up. But the point is, it probably was going to fall anyway. So you can't move it. You can't put it upside down on its side. Okay? So that's how you play. Now, I would have drawn 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. And I would have gone again immediately, which is a nice rule to have. That you get to get rid of a card.
But look how poopy it is. You have the same color on those cards.
So that's why I went over that rule, that if I can't play a card, any card, I keep on drawing until I can get a card I can play.
Yeah.
So let's say I drew these 3, and it was the last card I could play. These 2 we play, go back in the stack, and you shuffle it up.
That's all there is to it.
So the first to get rid of all their cards wins.
Yep.
And let's go over our review now.
All right, you guys know how this works. We each give our positives, negatives, and neutrals, and then we also tell you how we rate it on the PGG scale, and I always get to go first, so here we go. I love the colorful components. They're so cute, and I'm telling you, every time I play this, I always want to go have a cup of hot tea. I love hot tea anyway, so this really makes me want to go have hot tea.
Yeah, and it's quality plastic.
Very quality, and the colors are just beautiful. I love them. It is a fun dexterity game, which, as my last one said, which was neutral, it can be tricky if your hands shake too much, or if you push on the table, anything crazy like that. But for me, I always have to hold my breath when I do it, so my body will concentrate on that, and my hands literally stop shaking long enough for me to do it.
But
I have.
Julie has some medical conditions which causes her hands to shake.
Right. But if your hands don't shake, no worries. And what I really love is this plays really fast. It says 20 minutes, but for 2 players, we can do it in 10 minutes. It's super quick. So too. The only thing that is my neutral also is it could be hard for those who are colorblind, because the blue and the green are very similar. And what David and I had just talked about before we recorded this is that it would have been great if Funko made all the cup colors all have the same symbols on them, and then maybe that would have been easier for someone colorblind.
The small cups all have stars. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you can tell by the pictures the difference between small and large.
Definitely.
They should have made all of the green stars. Blue. Oh, blue, yeah.
See?
Well, the point is
see if they made all the one color, the same symbol, the next color, a different symbol.
I think
it would have been easier.
I think that could be an issue.
Mm-hmm. But other than that, that's it. That's a lot of positives.
Yeah, you went ahead to the tricky hands thing.
Yeah.
But you were able to win, so you were.
I also told you I held my breath every time
you figured out a strategy.
I figured out a strategy.
All right, so surprisingly strategic hand management dexterity game. So some people might think, this is a kid's game. There's nothing to this. Well, you are looking at what cards you have and thinking, if I play this, I better play this card now because that cup might run out, or if I do a large or small, or if I play this card, I don't want to play this card because I can
mess myself up.
Discard, play it later and discard something.
Yeah.
Specifically what I mean, I'm having trouble
coming up with
explaining
your words.
myself. This one right here.
Yeah.
that's the one you would want to wait, because if it's your second to last card, you can win.
Yep.
So there is some strategy.
I didn't even think about that, but you're right.
But that's how you won.
Yeah.
It's quality stacking components, average cards. The cards, this is average card stock. It's not great.
It might get bent with little hands.
Well, look, you can see it's warping.
Yeah.
And you definitely don't want children shuffling this.
No.
Okay. So in fact, I might have to, now I think about it, I might even be below average.
Oh.
Because it is warping a little bit.
I didn't even think of the cards when I thought of the components.
Yeah.
I just thought the
So
teacups.
I bet you, I'd probably have to change, now that I'm looking at it again, I'd probably say it's below average cards.
Oh, okay.
Just because they're warping.
Yeah. Adult cards.
Adult card support needed for younger players.
What do you mean by that?
That means that some children or adults who are having trouble remembering all the things. I mean, we've played this a bunch of times, and we can sometimes forget what things do.
I especially do.
Yeah, so you're going to want to put this in front of the person that needs the most support.
Yep.
And if they can't read, you're going to need to help them and
gotcha.
play with open hands.
Yeah. It's a good idea.
Needed reference cards, and it didn't really explain red cups. So one thing they could have done is had a reference card for everybody with this information on it, so every player gets it, or at least have 2 or 3 of them, so you can spread it around the table. But one thing they should have done is, you're explaining right here, you have this little key, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, here you go. It should have the red cup there as well.
That's a good
You
point.
only figure out what red cups do from reading the back.
Oh, yeah.
So that was a missed opportunity. And that's why it's a minus, because it makes it less accessible.
Yeah.
And then cup differentiation needed, we talked about that, with if it could be maybe difficult for those who are colorblind. And then it does have science connection. So this does help develop physics, balance, and some logical, mathematical, what cards to play. But really, you could tie it into to science.
Okay.
All right, so the next step we do is we give our rating using the Board Game
BGG.
Geek scale. So here we go.
They both said 7.
Right. Usually willing to play. It's almost a suggested. We need to own a little bit longer before it moves up. Just because it may sit on the shelf and not hit the table until we think about it. It's not something that's in front of our minds that we're going to like, hey, let's play that again. It's more like maybe when we're looking for something to play, it may catch our interest.
Right.
It's definitely worth keeping.
Oh, definitely worth keeping. And it's not something I can play if I'm tired. There's no way. Because I'll lose, because I'll keep spilling the cups over and getting all the cards. So.
Right, and then with your hands shaking and things like that.
Yeah, by late at night, it's really bad.
Right, depending on what time of day you take your meds, it can be difficult.
Yeah.
So, for
that's
instance,
true.
with my mother, who has really bad rheumatoid arthritis, she could not play this.
No, and between the shakiness and the arthritis in my hands, it's going to get more tricky as I get older. But for right now, I think we should play this with our friend who has her little kids that come over.
Yeah, definitely.
Because they're older, they're not little.
So we're definitely looking forward to playing with grandkids.
Yes.
I think it should be good if you're playing with friends and they are inebriated.
Yeah, this would be a good drinking game. We should try this with our children. I think it'd be fun.
I could see playing this as a drinking game.
Yes.
So it's a 7 right now, only because we're gonna put it on the shelf. We probably won't remember it, but when we're looking for something,
we'll see it. We're like, oh yeah.
And then so it would be like, hey, you want to play this?
Yeah.
Now, why an 8 would be, I'll remember this game in the future, and we'll take it off the shelf more often. But it may end up being that way.
Yep. And that's okay.
Especially when we introduce it to more people.
Yep. I think, I like the idea of it being a drinking game. I think that would be fun.
Yeah. So you don't have to play it just with children.
No, you don't. You can play it with adults and get a red Solo cup, and then.
All right. Anyway, so thanks for checking this out.
Thanks so much, you guys. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and tell your friends, and we'll see you next time.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.